The full names on the did not start list. Of course, there were only 25 cars on the entry list for this race. Janis Basasic in the 0-1 car and Josef Matveev both wrecked in practice, their only cars, and so of course they had no car to start the race with. The 94 of Timo Strack wrecked both his primary and his backup car, and he was supposed to debut the new Gessler car, so the German will not take the start, and neither will Juho Kavela, who had motor problems with the 111 car all weekend. And of course Juho will not start this race either. The main other story is that the Katsev cars have been absolutely dominant. They have been apparently untouchable throughout practice and throughout most of qualifying. Of course, the only cars that have really seemed to threaten them are the two Fintech cars of Esko Koskela and Nils Tolonen. But Tolonen didn't set a qualifying lap at all, and Esko Koskela failed post-qualifying inspection. The other car that was very quick in practice was Charlie Waters in the 130 car, and this could be a big weekend for him. However, Waters didn't. Of course, Waters' qualifying troubles meant that he will also start towards the back of the field. That being said, Dan, off to you. Thank you, Lance. In order for the officials to get a decent entry list for this race, the chassis regulations had to be relaxed. Therefore, there are a lot of local entrants driving cars that are normally not allowed in a TM Master Cup Series race weekend. There are several customer SARs and Lenards in the field, dating all the way back to a 2007 Lenard entered by Dmitry Ivanov. Anyway, I'm going to run through the 21-car grid for the 2010 round of Russia. And on the pole for the second time in his career is Vladimir Simonov of the Katsev Engineering team. That is normally the 232 team, but they renumbered that car for this race. And Yulia Nasova in the car number 7, the only former Master Cup Series race winner in the field. Nasova has only won on tracks longer than 3 miles. Lev Vladimirovich pulls in. This is the same guy who was horrendously slow here last year, and Alexei Stoyanovich in the 318 car, branded as the 8 car for this race. Sergei Nevlin driving the 041 car, but that is actually Vladimir Simonov's backup car from Karyala, renumbered to number 11, and Morgan Hamburg driving the car he failed to qualify for Karyala. Lev Vladimirovich's teammates, Denis Predikin, who ran Indianapolis a year ago, and Vitaly Karpenko in the 2nd and 3rd Tolyatti cars. Row 5, Mika Turvo driving the car he finished 2nd in Karyala, and Ivan Zubinkov bought the Ralph Zimmerman car that Edvin Lisko failed to qualify for Karyala. Ivan Maxin in the 69 car, that was one of Alexis Rainsford's former show cars, and Boris Stroganov driving a car that also DNQ'd Karyala. Dmitry Ivanov driving a 2007 Lenard, and Vitaly Lavrin driving a car that ran in Indianapolis last year. Mikhail Yudin in that 27 car, and Sergei Eltsov. Ivan Bukharin driving the only Gazny in the field, and Yosef Novicki. Esko Koskela, of course, he was sent to the back, and Charlie Waters. And, of course, there is Nils Tolonen, and he really needs to pick up some points if he's going to make a run at Michael Sykes for the Independence Trophy. Off the last corner, we come to take the green flag. That is Vladimir Simonov in car number 2. You can tell the difference between Simonov's and Nasova's car because where Nasova has that little red part in her car, that is white on Vladimir Simonov's car. Of course, Aerotel trying to expand into Russia. Of course, naturally, they would brand as many of the Katsev cars as possible. Here's the rest of the field funneling through that first chicane. Nasova flying through there. Vladimirovich taking it very easy on the start, as he said he would. And Simonov gapping the field immediately, Nasova following him, and Stoyanovich takes 3rd. Joseph Novicki in the number 45 car, well, predictably falls off the pace. It's not unusual. We saw that happen in the Czech Republic earlier in the year. The two Fintechs of Nils Tolonen and Esko Koskela are already scything through some of the back markers. Keep in mind that there's a lot of cars here that are way off the pace normally, and they are going to be obstacles, but Koskela has a very easy time navigating through them. Both of these drivers have TM Europe experience. Nils Tolonen actually just won the TM Europe Championship, and Esko Koskela, of course, came 4th in the championship. There's that 69 car, which we said was one of Alexis Rainsford's former show cars from 2008, so that just shows how old that car is. There you see Charlie Waters. Oh, Nils Tolonen hits the curb! He's into the tires! Charlie Waters in trouble, along with Ivan Maxin in the 69. Oh, big trouble already. Tolonen's car, he's out already. Charlie Waters, this is not what he wanted to see. He was also hoping to make gains on Michael Sykes, but he also spins on the curbs and hits the wall. But Charlie Waters is able to keep it going, and the American will continue to fight on. What a fighting spirit in Charlie Waters. We think he's going to be full-time next year, and he's showing why. Well, not in that particular incident, but in his never-give-up attitude. that he's clearly demonstrating. Currently in the lead is Vladimir Simonov. Yulia Nosova is second. Morgan Hamburg up to fourth. Vladimirovich has dropped a bit in the 9 car. There is Turvo, and you see a little bit further back. Kaskela all the way up to 13th at the end of the first lap, so he is really flying. Stroganov is up in the 006 car. Novicki in 18th, and Charlie Waters is going to come through in a little bit, and he'll be 19th. Maxon is still running, but of course Nils Stalonen, who was 21st, is out. Lev Vladimirovich, he took it very personally when he ran so poorly here last year. He said that it was the most embarrassing moment of his career to some of the press here. And Vladimirovich is certainly earning his rights now to say that he is a better driver than what last year showed. Of course, he's a fairly accomplished rally driver in this part of the country, I believe, so he is clearly doing his reputation a lot of good here today, having a very strong run early on, and he's showing a lot of wisdom, holding back a little bit and hoping that everyone else in front of him would self-destruct, and Vladimirovich Polzin having a very good run. Lev Vladimirovich Polzin, I should rightly say, because that is his full name that he actually asked us to use on the title cards last year, which we didn't do, and we've corrected that error, and he's currently running at P6, and he's having a strong run so far. Morgan Hamburg in car 68, followed by that silver 11 car of Sergei Nevelin, and Morgan Hamburg could be doing his Independence Trophy bid a lot of good, because he is running in the top 5. Michael Sykes to date has not recorded a top 10 in the Independence Trophy, which could be key. Lap 5, Vitaly Karpenko in car number 10 hits the pit lane, and so that's one of the Togliatti cars. They're clearly not getting very good fuel economy out there, and some of the back markers are in. There's Ivanov, Eltsov, and that's Ivan Maxim in that white 27 car. Bukharin stays out. Lap 6, the leaders are in. Looks like everyone else is going to come in as well, so it looks like some of the back markers are rolling the dice. Either that or they're just not getting very good fuel economy out there, which, seeing as they're already off the pace, is not a good thing for their races here today. Ivan Maxon in car number 69 is already being a bit of an obstacle, and there is Vladimir Simonov getting held up significantly by Ivan Maxon, who clearly does not know the concept of look in your mirror and move out of the way. Maxon making life very difficult for Simonov at the moment, and Nosova is going to be reeling him in. Oh, Simonov makes a move, but here comes Nosova, and here comes Alexei Stoyanovich in that car number 8. Of course, Stoyanovich, who did so well just to make his debut at the Eurospeedway earlier the year. There is Simonov going around the outside of Maxon. Nosova is going to follow suit, and now that's brought not only Nosova into the mix, but Stoyanovich and Morgan Hamburg in the 68 car. Oh, Maxon's he's on the curb. Oh, he's wide, he cuts low. Oh, Morgan Hamburg and Ivan Maxon are both spinning into the pit lane, so Morgan Hamburg in trouble now in that 68 car. Clearly not happy with Ivan Maxon, and understandably frustrated. Karpenko's in again in the 10 car, so there's something really going wrong with the Togliatti bunch. So there he is. It looked like, the official just jumped out of the way as Morgan Hamburg got, into that little tussle up into the pits. Lev Vladimirovich Polzin's good run so far would come to an unfortunate end very early in the race. After a slow initial pit stop, he dropped through the running order a little bit, and unfortunately, rear suspension problems put the Togliatti out of the race. That was very disappointing to see, because he was looking so strong and hoping to rekindle some of the magic that he's apparently known for. So, unfortunately, Vladimirovich out already after proving that he really was not so bad after all. Simonov doing a bit of rallycross on his own. That's going to hand the lead to Yulia Nosova. Big mistake by Simonov when he was pretty much in control of this one. It's not the first mistake he's made. Again, the back markers appear to be pitting much earlier than the leaders, so it looks like that those cars are having some serious problems indeed with fuel economy. They're already well off the pace. Joseph Novicki, car number 45. No surprise here to see him being a bit of a moving obstacle. He was well off the pace just about every race. And, he's on the curves, almost wipes Nosova out of the lead. I'm pretty sure he would have been black flagged for that if he had wiped out the leader. I'm surprised that Maxon wasn't black flagged for that incident in the pits with Craig Janser, to be honest with you. And now here is Sergei Nevelin, who's going to have a run at Vladimir Simonov. Nevelin, the 37-year-old rally driver, having a very good run here. Rally and touring car driver, Sergei Nevelin. all the way up to second and up to third. There goes Stoyanovich, the 23-year-old who grew up in New York. Of course, Stoyanovich born in Russia but grew up in New York, having a great run so far. And coming into the pits, that is, I believe that's it. Yeah, that's Esko Koskela, obviously, because Nils Talonen's out in the car number 3. That's Mika Turvo having a surprisingly average run, not showing the Karyala speed that he was so notorious for. There is the 006 car, and that's one of the Togliattis. That's Predikin in the 5. There's the 50 car in, along with Zubinkov and Vitaly Lavrin in the 61. And then the leaders pitted a lap later. Nesova, Nevelin. You just call us the Katsev crew because Katsev's 1, 2, 3, 4 at the moment. This is the most dominant they've looked all season. In fact, this is the most speed they've shown all season. The Katsev cars really have not shown pace at all throughout the season, but of course on home turf and at Karyala, they were very spectacular. Of course, at Karyala, the Katsev was, we believe, one of the quickest cars on the racetrack. However, it just was not reliable enough to make it past, well, the 1/3 mark in that race. Morgan Hamburg is, after he got ran into in the pits, he's moved his way all the way back up to 4th. Apparently, that he took that opportunity to change his pit strategy a little bit. Very opportunistic call by that team. Esko Koskela in 6th position. Vitaly Karpenko, whose strategy is also a bit strange, is in 7th right now. Then that's Boris Stroganov in the 006, driving for, well, it's his own team there. The car number 5, Denis Predikin, and then Zubinkov in the 50 car. Nesova still leading this race by quite a large margin, and you'll notice there's not too many cars actually still running on the lead lap at all. Mika Turvo in car 77 has not necessarily been having the best of weekends by his own standards. Oh, engine goes. Yep, that's Turvo out of it. It's the same engine we believe he ran at Karyala, which was actually found out to be a Gessler prototype engine. So Turvo out already. Mikhail Udin in the 27 going a lap down. It's strange to see a 27 car without the name Rainsford behind the wheel of it. And that many-colored car is... Oh, that's the Bukharin car. Interesting, very nice story behind this car. That was the 08 car that the Martin Motorsport team attempted a few races with last year with Wesley Ellis, but apparently they've had so much damage to that car, they've just decided to repair it with all sorts of different colored parts. You gotta love the spirit of that 76 team. They don't care what it looks like as long as it runs. There's that 11 car of Sergei Nevelin. He's having a fantastic drive so far. Of course, he has a lot of touring car experience in Europe, so it's not really a surprise that he would catch on to these kinds of cars very quickly. Riding on board of Esko Koskela, who's beginning to hound Vladimir Simonov, who's made a bunch of mistakes. He's been off dipped the 2 wheels off into the grass several times. It's not exactly what you want to do on your home race and when your ride's under threat. There goes the Bukharin car, up in smoke. All these guys did a lot of good work just to get that car running, but unfortunately not enough, and Ivan Bukharin goes out of the race. That's too bad. Vladimir Simonov in car number 2 pits on lap 17 with Esko Koskela, and everyone else pits a lap later. So apparently Simonov having trouble. Vitaly Karpenko in one of the Togliattis. Engine goes on that car. At least something goes. I believe it's rear suspension, actually. Yulia Nesova comes out in front of Sergei Nevelin, as Nesova's greater experience coming in and out of the pits proves to be superior to Sergei Nevelin's. And that would explain why Nesova in that number 7 car is leading Sergei Nevelin. Nevelin still doing a fantastic job for someone who has not had much experience. Charlie Waters in the 130 car is going to experience some problems. That's not good. He's gonna stall it on track actually, but he keeps it going. They get that car back into the race. Great spirit from the 130 bunch. Well, here's Joseph Novicki, and whenever we're focused on him, you know it's not going to be for anything good. Well, here comes Zubenkov. Oh, whoa, whoa. Oh, Novicki into the tires and out of the race, thankfully. And here's Sergei Nevelin trying to put Vitaly Lavrin a lap down. Lavrin's been a bit in the way, and Nevelin just punts him off the road, pretty much. I don't think there's any other way you can put it other than that Nevelin just drove straight through Lavrin's car. Well, Lavrin keeps it going, however. Here is Vladimir Simonov in the 2 car, again throwing it off the grass just a little bit. That's how he's been losing so much time. Nesova has a fairly large lead right now. Simonov's in 2nd after that pit stop cycle. Apparently pitting earlier appeared to, was the better way to go. Then Esko Koskela, Sergei Nevelin dropped all the way to 4th, and Alexei Stoyanovich into 5th. Of course, this is after another round of pit stops, so we'll see how this one shapes up. By the way, there's a very large gap between 5th and 6th, so you're not going to see 6th place actually come up, I don't think. No, it doesn't look like it. So, Nosova with a very commanding lead as of right now, and Vladimir Simonov desperately trying to chase Nosova down because there's been a lot of rumors that he'll be out of that team next year. Esko Kaskela in car number 3, still pushing on, trying to get around the Ivanov, car number 21, not having a whole lot of success in doing that. There he goes, coming with his long sweeping carousel, finally able to get the job done. Here is Simonov trying to get around Eltsov. Oh, over the curbs, into the wall! Oh, that's game over for Simonov. That's not what he wanted at all, not what he needed. Oh, that's... I don't want to say that's career ending with that team, but it certainly looks like it. Vitaly Lavrin in that 61 car is going to get punted off by another car, this time Zubenkov in the 50. And, into the tires again, but he still keeps it going. He's going to need to get a bit of a tow out of there, but the 61 keeps going. And I said Vladimir Simonov's crash is career ending with that team. I mean, it's quite likely he won't be retained after that little prang. Problems with the 3 car of Esko Kaskela are going to force him to drop out of the race. We're not exactly sure what it was. We believe the fuel injection system was having some problems in car number 3. Unfortunately for Kaskela, who was having a brilliant drive. Here's a car that Lance and I had sort of written off as being no more than a lower midfield car. Boris Stroganov in the 006, currently running 5th. So clearly Boris has proven Lance and I totally wrong. He's very capable of staying alive, which is apparently a major theme of this race. But he's done a very good job throughout this race. He's not had many errors. He's not made many errors. His pace isn't great, but he's at least keeping it on the gray stuff, which is better than we can say for some other people out here. Dennis Predikin in the 5 car is running 6th. It's the only one of the Togliatti cars still running, and he's about to go a lap down, so that should say something else about how much Yulia Nosova is just completely, well, romping away with this one. No better word I can use for it. Just running away with it. And Dennis Predikin in the 5 qualified for Indianapolis with Katsev, ironically, and the car that he's driving is being driven by Vitaly Lavrin at that Indianapolis round last year. So the surprise entrant for that race, and Predikin not doing too badly here today. Nosova in car number 7, though, would just pull out too large of a lead for anyone to overcome, and Yulia Nosova rounds the final corner and wins in front of the home crowd. Yulia Nosova takes the win in a very popular victory, with Sergei Nevelin, another popular 2nd place, and Alexei Stoyanovich, a very popular podium, I should add, with the crowd here. Morgan Hamburg came home 4th. Boris Stroganov, the endurance man, apparently came home in 5th. Dennis Predikin, Ivan Zubenkov a lap down, Sergei Nevelin in 8th, Mikhail Yudin in 9th, Dmitry Ivanov finished in 10th, and Charlie Waters, I believe, came home 11th, but he was so many laps down after stalling on track and being towed back to the pits that he couldn't overtake the number 21 car, who had retired 4 laps from the finish. So Dmitry Ivanov, a turbo failure put him out, but that car, that was a 2007 Lenard, and I think just for that car to make it as far as it did was an act of heroism. Normally, we would go in and discuss the point situation at this point in the show. However, since most of the main championship contenders, in fact, just about all the cars in the top 20 in points bar Nosova, are actually running at the round of Alabama, we will wait for that race to finish, seeing as that race is going to be run in just a few hours' time. So, I will see you in a few hours for the 2010 round of Alabama.